today we are talking about the differences between Orlando and Tampa as far as lifestyles, living, cost of living, housing, how the vibe is, what it's like there. We've lived in both. We've lived in Orlando and Tampa. Cody grew up in Orlando, so he has some very firsthand insider knowledge about it. And now we've moved our family to Tampa, and let's go over the differences. Off the top of your head, what are you thinking?
So Tampa versus Orlando, right?
Let's do it.
So growing up in Orlando, I've seen it go through a lot of changes. I lived there about 35 years, and then we moved here to Tampa back in 21. And the difference is unique. Orlando is definitely centered around the theme parks.
Tourism
And stuff like that. It's about an hour and a half away, to like the beaches. So moving over to Tampa, Tampa's got a lot more history behind it. Right, so
an older city.
Older city for sure. But what I really kind of thought was cool is you've got options of going to like two different beaches. So you have like the Gulf side or the Bay side, and then that's like 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes away from most people. And then you can go about an hour away to the St. Pete beaches and Clearwater beaches.
Yeah, ultimately there's a lot of reasons why we moved to Tampa, but the sunsets on Clearwater Beach probably are the top of the list if we're being honest.
So East Coast, Orlando generally goes towards the East Coast. They have the sunrises, and the West Coast, they have the sunsets.
Yeah.
So we absolutely love those. Saying goodbye to the sun is really cool.
Yeah, dinner on the beach.
It makes for really good photos, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the living here is different for sure. The being centered around tourism so much in Orlando does make it a different lifestyle that you're living. There's like tons of people employed in the industries of hospitality, which really was affected during COVID and the pandemic time. There was a lot of restaurants that closed down, a lot of people that were out of work because Orlando's employment is very, very much focused on the tourism industry. Whereas in Tampa, we're seeing a lot of diverse markets. There's over 100,000 people employed in the hospital systems. Did you know that? There's just so many big hospitals here. Tampa General, Moffitt, what are the other ones? Like Baycare is huge here.
Baycare, Advent Health.
The VA health system is huge here. So there's a lot of people employed in the healthcare industry. The tech industry is big here. The sports stadiums are employing tons of people.
Yep. The definitely the medical industry down here is pretty big. And that has to do with a lot of the folks around the country that are kind of retiring and they settling down here. So that kind of helps with that growth continuously. So medical is definitely a huge part of the economy, both Tampa and Orlando. Tampa's got the sports teams.
Yep, that brings a lot of employment, jobs, and a lot of fun.
Yep.
Right, especially when we're winners.
And
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and then Orlando and Tampa both have universities. UCF for Orlando, and we got the USF right here.
Go Bulls.
USF is coming on big time right now. Like so in the past they've been using the Raymond James Stadium, which they've been sharing with the Bucks, and they've just announced that they are going to be building their own stadium on campus, 35,000 seats with the future expansion to 50,000. So that's a huge deal to be able to
Sure.
go to the football games and just walk from your dorm over to the stadium instead of having to drive 13 miles, to go hang
campus
out.
life's going to be a lot more fun. It might start making the list of party schools. Hopefully not, but you might start seeing USF at the top of the list of party schools. But it's also bringing tons of jobs and employment and visitors here to the area.
And it's going to be what they say, the stadium's going to have the longest bar.
Alcohol bar.
Yeah, it's going to have a whole student section. And then I think in that student section, they're going to have the longest bar.
So I was right in thinking it's going to start moving up that list.
They're totally trying to go after that, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to have a lot of support from the from the folks around that Tampa Bay area.
So the school system's really big here, employment, there's tons of options, a lot more diverse economy here in Tampa than compared to Orlando. So if you're looking at that, if that's important to you, if you are in the tourism industry, hey, Orlando might be the best spot for you because there is a lot of employments there. What else we got going on? The housing market. What do you think of the housing market differences?
I think they're pretty similar. Price point wise, I think they're pretty similar. A lot of different varieties. So a lot of the high-end homes here in the Tampa area, they're usually involving some type of waterfront, right?
Yeah, lots
Bay
of waterfront
Shore, riverfront, you've got
islands.
The islands, you've got Davis Island. So you've got that kind of luxury real estate here. In Orlando, not so much. It's a lot of landlocked, properties that are you know, high-end luxury. But
Maybe
there are a few.
lakefront luxury homes
Yep.
or estate homes. There's the big estate homes that are happening over there in Orlando with more luxury market. And then the lower prices, you know, we're seeing the median price being very similar. Townhouses, condos are all in the similar price point in the 200s. Single family homes, 300s to 400s. It's both very similar. There's just more of a diversity, I think, of housing styles here in Tampa, like the bungalows in Seminole Heights, right? And then there's waterfront living in Davis Islands. And there's, you know, new construction like the one that we're sitting in right now on the outskirts of town.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a, you know, $5 million house to go with your $1 million yacht, right? So in Orlando, you can have that. So that's one of the cool things about Tampa is you can actually take tours, right? Boat tours to go see celebrity houses or what have you. So you get to see a lot of the high-end luxury. And we also have, I think, a little bit of difference here is our downtown high-end, high-rise luxury.
Oh yeah, it's booming right now.
Condos for sale. We have a lot more of those here in Tampa, and I think it's going to continuously grow.
Yeah, Tampa has like the Ritz-Carlton residences, and a lot of other those high-end brands are building their hotels and condominiums here in Tampa, whereas that's just not as common in Orlando. The downtown is different. And then cost of living, we're looking at cost of living being a little slightly lower in Tampa than Orlando. Not much of a difference, but still is slightly lower here.
Yeah, and they've got the Water Street district area that they are set to develop a whole new area down there. It's going to be kind of the second version of Brickell down in Miami, which is a super high-end, wealthy area in Miami. Tampa is going to be creating the same kind of ambiance here in the Tampa area with waterfront access, $1 million plus condo, high-rise kind of, and kind of like an all-inclusive little area for very similar to the Brickell. So
sure. So still, even though it's an older city, still growth and development happening, remediating lower areas and then building them up better for sure. And then we're also seeing like the fun things to do. So there's a lot of fun things to do. Everyone in the world knows what there is to do in Orlando, right? Everyone knows Disney World and Universal Studios. They all know about the fun in Orlando. But here in Tampa, it's more like going to sports games, outdoor festivals, Gasparilla. I mean, we have our own pirate festival here. It's super cool. There's also all kinds of other events that are going on throughout the year along the beaches and food festivals. So there is still quite a bit to do. Going to the Riverwalk, that's one of our favorite things. Whenever we have guests in town, taking them to see the Riverwalk, it's just such a beautiful place and tons of fun stuff to do out there.
You referring to Armature Works?
Yeah, Armature Works at the Riverwalk.
Yep.
But there's a whole walk, right?
Yep, there's a whole walk, and then you got the Bayshore Walk, which is kind of connects into that whole river walk as well.
Yeah.
So we like to go down there on Saturdays and Sundays and kind of take a little walk all the way down.
It's
and
so peaceful.
Yeah, it's really nice. So
there's definitely fun stuff to do here in Tampa as well.
So, you know, Angie, you know, just to follow up, you know, we're talking, you know, about Tampa versus Orlando. We've made quite a few trips from Orlando to Tampa and now Tampa to Orlando.
Yes.
And, you know, one of the things that a lot of the people that live here talk about is that traffic that is on I-4, which is notorious.
Yeah.
And you know, it's quite a bit of a nightmare for folks that have to go from basically Tampa past Orlando a lot of the times, and once they get to about Haines City, which is where that Disney kind of Kissimmee traffic hits, doesn't really let up until you get to about Orlando, the downtown area, and then it kind of opens up and then you can go through. But
yeah, that section there right in front of Disney, around all the theme parks, for sure, it's always backed up. You know, tourists are there on vacation, right? They're having a magical time. They don't mind sitting in traffic for 30 minutes because they're going to spend the rest of their day walking a theme park. But the rest of us that are locals and trying to get from here to there, it can be a little frustrating. It doesn't feel so magical when you're in gridlock there. And Tampa, I mean, Tampa has its traffic too, like every major city, right? It's almost like bragging rights, whose city has the most traffic. You see the lists all the time. So Tampa does have its traffic too, more local traffic, not the tourism traffic.
Yeah, I think Orlando's got the residents that live there traffic, like Tampa does. But Orlando also has an additional, at any time, 30 to 100,000 people driving their rental cars all over the place.
Not knowing where they're going.
Not knowing where they're going, things like that. So it does add a lot more cars to the road. So overall, the traffic in Tampa, you know, it can get congested just like any city has their congestion, but it's pretty confined from like 7 to 9 and it's done.
Yeah, normal.
And then after that, it's kind of clears up from like the 4 to 6 o'clock time, you know, your major rush hour times. But Orlando, you know, it can be that way from 7 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it really comes down to lifestyle, Angie. Who's going to feel more at home in Orlando, and who is going, who should look in Tampa?
Yeah, absolutely. And with our 80 years of experience in Florida.
She didn't want to say that because now it looks like
I
she's
stole
80
your
years
line.
old. But combined, 35 and about 45.
25.
In Florida. I mean, you've been in 45.
I was saying 25. And now you just called me out again.
Aren't you like 48?
I'm 25.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
No, okay, so a lot of experience here in Florida. Lifetime experience in Florida. Okay, Orlando's perfect for Disney super fans, right? If that's you, great, love it, enjoy it. Hospitality workers, families who want theme parks in their backyard, great, go for it. There's a lot of great opportunities there. But for most buyers, it feels like it's more transient and touristy just because it is.
And don't forget, we have a theme park here too. We have Busch Gardens, which has a lot more roller coasters.
The Disney fans are
than
laughing at
Disney
you right
does,
now.
right? I can tell you right now, if you're a coaster fan, it's Busch Gardens all day long. It's Disney second and Universal second.
Sure.
So you'd say basically Orlando is great for vacation and Tampa is where you would actually live for life?
That's what we're planning on, yes. So far, so good.
I love it. I love it.
We
So
love it.
if you're comparing Tampa versus Orlando, here's the real takeaway. Orlando is amazing to visit. Tampa is the place to live. It's affordable, stable, community driven, and honestly, it's just more fun for locals.
Yep, absolutely. So that was our breakdown. Leave us some comments down below. Let us know if you're Team Orlando or Team Tampa. We love you either way, and we'd be happy to help out with any real estate needs in either city. We'll take the I-4 drive for you. And if your Tampa is calling your name, Orlando's calling your name, whatever one is calling out to you, reach out to us, send us an email, send us a text, and we'd love to help you, be partners with you along on that journey of making your Florida move.
Cody and Angie with the All Stock Group, the A-Team of Florida, out.
Thanks for watching.